The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Easy Money New England.
Oh, can somebody help us here?
We can, because we are real estate and mortgage professionals.
Where you go?
It says come in and browse.
That's right. Come on in, listen up and learn.
How long do you intend to browse?
In a short period of time, our panel will teach you some tricks that might make your house buying easier.
You didn't ask her how long she intends to browse.
You might not be looking for a mortgage today, but we'll get you ready.
You don't look like browsers.
Are you looking?
No, what do browsers look like?
Yeah, maybe I'm half browse.
On his father's side.
This is Easy Money New England
Let's show the lady we're browsers.
with your host, Brian Damico.
Hey, look at us, we're browsers. One more word out of you and he gets it, all right? Come on.
Hello and welcome to another edition of our show, Easy Money New England, where every week we bring you money-making opportunities or money-saving ideas, all in the area of real estate. And today we have a treat. We have Lisa Hales, who's a productivity coach in the area of real estate. So Lisa, this is a treat because she'll, if you're listening right now and you're a realtor, Lisa comes highly acclaimed, and she's lived in your shoes. She's entrepreneurial. She's over 30 years hands-on real-world experience in construction, real estate, municipal regulatory process, and global relocation. She was successful as a real estate broker in the Boston Metro West area. She transacted over $40 million in sales. And most importantly, your success is her success. She creates the strategies, customizes the education and training, and coaches and motivates her clients to surpass their goals. So without going any further, Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you today?
Doing very well. So Lisa, one of the reasons why I thought you'd be a great guest on the show is, we have a lot of people that invest in real estate that listen to this show, and they may be thinking that real estate might be a good career for them. And I know that if you're brand new to the business or if you're experienced in the business, it's still, is it the same thing to get going in real estate from 0 units to if you're doing 10 units? How does that all work?
Absolutely. As we know through the years, real estate is always a great thing to invest in for the return on your investment. If you look at the market, anytime between 5 and 7 years where it's been, depending now, I know we've had, we went down a little bit, now we're coming back up again. And investing in real estate is great. I've invested in real estate as well. I own a home. I have another house in the Carolinas. And it really is great. And you just can ride out the market. And when you're ready, so many people right now are doing very well with the investments they made. In Massachusetts right now, according to the Mass Association of Realtors, single-family homes rose quite a bit since, I think it's been since 2004. The price sale of single-family homes has gone up quite a bit, and for 2018, since 2004. So it's really a good place to invest.
Lisa, where are you based? Are you at the Cape Cod area?
I am, yeah. We just moved to the Cape recently, and I'm growing people here as well. As you know, I'm a coach, and my goal is to really educate people as much as I can, realtors and people that are investing in real estate on, where the market is at and how they can grow themselves in their business.
Yeah, I know.
I'm based in West Yarmouth.
Yarmouth, great place.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love it here.
Yeah. And I noticed on your website your core values. It seems like it's very straight out there. Your core values that you live by, make your client's number one goal is your number one goal. Live up to your standards despite temptation to lower them. Be willing to work towards a common good. Do what I say I will do, sometimes more, just never less.
And to me, that's the most important one.
Yep.
Because as many times you make promises and, people depend on that and they count on the promises you make them. And when you say you're going to do something and you don't, that's not always good. So that's most important. And like I said, I help agents to keep moving forward, to hold them accountable to do so.
And I see you have a class coming up August 22nd, Empower Yourself and Grow Your Business Seminar. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Great. I'm very excited about this class. I actually created this class through a program I was in. And being a coach as long as I have and being in real estate as long as I have, I understand what the needs are. I mean, real estate basically, when you get into real estate, it's a lead generating business. That's what real estate is.
Right.
So you got to get out there. You have to make your calls. So I'm doing the goal planning, part of it, time blocking, and then we're going to have a mastermind just to discuss different things that people are dealing with to help everybody to move forward with it.
Now, what would you say that your average experience level is of an agent that comes into this class or that you actually coach?
Well, some of them are like just new off the boat. So a lot of people start part-time when they get into real estate because they have another job and they need to build equity, which I understand because you really want to, get yourself going. So some just start just brand new. The thing is, when you take a test in real estate, you really don't learn, writing offers. You don't learn lead generate. You don't learn all that stuff. So that's why I'm here to help people, sit down with them. And honestly, it's the accountability. We all know what we need to do. It's like going to a gym, right? If you go to a gym, you're going to lose weight.
Right.
And what do you say in the morning? No, I don't think, I'll go tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
And unless you really have somebody there saying, hey, come on, let's do this. Let's get motivated. Let's do it. Let's go to the gym. We have a goal here. So it's important to set your goals, too, and put them in writing. Always put them in writing because people, if you're in their head, you don't remember them. So you put it in writing, you go, okay, this is what I want to do by when. And I sit down with people and I said, all right, what do you want to do? And let's work on it. And this is what you're going to have to do to get there. Is that an achievable goal for you? Yes or no? So, and then we just move forward from it.
So no different than the mortgage business. We have, a mortgage company and loan offices, they say they're going to make 20 calls in a day. If they don't do it, they might do it one time and they got great success. And I said, did you do that next week? And they said, well, no, it works so well, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I get caught up with this or that. Yeah,
right.
Those little things you get caught up with. And it's really just, the difference between an average agent and a really highly successful agent is consistency. It's
Right.
doing the same thing over and over. And it doesn't get boring? It can, yeah. You're going to create success by doing it.
And, give us some good success stories for some of your agents that kind of went through your coaching. I mean, have you seen some people get great success? I mean, I know I'm sure that's the reason why you do it. You love to see people become successful.
Right. Yeah, I'm here to help them.
Yeah.
So one of my agents that I coached, he started in December, and he did classes regularly, which was great. And he set a goal for July 1st, that he wanted to at least double his income. And he took some classes a couple of times, really just get out there, pounded the pavement, made calls, and he just achieved his goal as of July 1st. So he did actually by doing it, and it's getting out there. I say to people, don't be a secret agent.
Right.
Don't be let people know you're out there doing it, and let people share your goals. Because once you start putting it out there in the universe somehow just comes around and answers it, which is awesome.
It's true. I've seen it happen many times.
Yeah.
So what type of strategies do you give a newer agent or experienced one? Is it basically, it all comes down to them, right? So you give them a blueprint based on what they want to kind of work towards, but it would be
Correct.
Different activities for a newer agent, different activities for an experienced agent? Or is it pretty much, as long as you follow this blueprint, you're going to become successful?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. It's pretty much the same. So what I do is we create a yearly goal. We'll sit down and say, what do you want to make a year? Okay, let's break it down, yearly goal. And then it depends on the price of the market as well, how many homes you're going to need to sell or invest in or whatever. And then, okay, so you have your yearly goal. What do you have to do monthly to meet that yearly goal? Say you want to sell 12 houses in a year, right?
Yep.
So monthly, you have to sell one a month, right? So then you break it down weekly. What are the activities you have to do weekly to meet that monthly goal, to meet that yearly goal? And honestly, you can get one appointment a week for the most part. Really get one appointment a week with either a buyer or a seller, depending on the goal as well. You're pretty good to meet a goal, And then you break it down even more so, how many calls you have to make to get that one appointment. And honestly, it's the fear of getting over that first call, which really is, it's just getting past that first call, getting past the no's. No one likes a no. No one likes to say, no, I don't want to, I don't want to. And it's just asking really powerful questions to get past those no's to, put yourself in their world. You want to put yourself in their world, not in your world. And you never want to sound desperate. You never want to sound like it's about the money. It's about them finding a home that they, love.
And then doing a good job.
Then we break it down. So how many appointments you need to go on to meet the goal? And it all kind of breaks down to, it's a numbers game. It really is. It ends up being a numbers game. So then you look at your, you look at your conversion rate. Okay, how many calls do I need to make to do this? And the more calls you make and the more you call, the better you're going to get, right?
Right. I mean, I recently have a coach, and I always tell him, well, there's no secrets, there's no secret sauce, right? He goes, well, there is a secret sauce. It's the phone calls. You got to make them.
It's doing it.
It's doing it. That's the secret sauce. And I said,
picking up the phone.
There's no, because
which comes back to getting past the fear of picking up the phone.
The theme of our show is, there's no such thing as easy money. That's why we call it Easy Money New England. Just no, you got to do the work, and I think that, it's amazing that once you start making the phone calls and you set up the appointments and it's consistency. And I think that, a lot of people, they need to be held accountable, including myself. You got to be held accountable. And I think that it's
absolutely,
it's definitely something that works. So Lisa,
everybody needs a coach, whether they want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
Even myself, I have a coach as well. You have a coach.
I have a few, right now I have a few of them, and I'm saying to myself, wow, I've never spent more money on coaching. And I said to myself, wow, this is, I'm working on all the things I want to work on.
What you're making on the other end.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. It
Takes
does pay off. Yeah.
So Lisa, if someone's interested in joining, learning more about you, or they want to go to your class, what's the best way to reach you?
Mm-hmm. You can give me a call on my phone, or you can email me at lisahales@comcast.net. That would probably be the best way. Email me, or I can give you my phone number if you want as well.
Yeah, you definitely. Go ahead.
Okay. They can call me also at 617-710-5778 and see how I can help you out. It'd be great. So
Lisa, is there any tips on technology, or is technology just get in the way? Is it still the old way, just picking up the phone, or do you have any tools or plans that will help people be more productive?
Well, I do create a time block schedule with them as well to set up a time, because really when you look at your schedule, there's a lot of things that get in the way of your schedule. You follow a time block and do what you say you're going to do, you'll be successful. It's real estate is simple, although it's not easy.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And the simple part is follow your schedule. The easy part, not easy, it's not easy to do that a lot of times, because you really need to stay structured and accountable, because it's not a 9-to-5 job, real estate.
It's not.
And one of the things, and I say to all the agents, it's really important. You can get totally absorbed in this business and get burned out. So the most important thing is to take a day off and plan that day off. So that's going to be in your time block. What day you're taking off, and make sure you take it off. Because you don't want to do it 7 days a week. I mean, at first it's not a bad idea. You really should take time, especially for your family, because really you're doing this for your family. You're doing this to grow. You're doing this, if you have a family, to raise a family or whatever. And you want to make sure you spend time with them as well, which is very, very important.
And when you take that day off, are you totally not looking at your email, not looking at taking phone calls? Do you generate the team approach? So if they want to take the day off,
that would be the goal.
That would be the goal.
Yeah, and have somebody cover for you when you take that day off. So if somebody does call in, at least you have somebody that can say, hey, they'll get back to you tomorrow. Or it's like when you go to a doctor, you're a professional. Your real estate's a professional. So when you go to a doctor, do they say to you, oh, when do you have time? Or do you go to them and tell you, or they tell you when their time is, when you make an appointment? And normally you're going to say, yeah, okay, I'll go that time, because they want to meet with them, right?
Yeah, and then
similar to a real estate agent,
taking
control of your schedule.
And then a lot of times it comes down to price, right? And then that's another thing, right? So I know you get this objection. I heard a great one the other day. They said, well, they also have a great price on steak at Applebee's, but I prefer Capital Grille.
There you go.
That's a good one, right?
It's about the value. It's about your value. So, the most important thing as well is to have a value proposition. What are you going to do for these people? And being proactive is very, very helpful. So you should always sit down and have a meeting, whether it's a buyer or a listing or whatever, and just say, hey, this is what I do. this is how I am successful in my business, and this is what I'll do for you. And then make sure you do it. Remember, do what I'm saying I'm going to do,
Right.
Sometimes more, just never less, right?
Exactly. And you definitely remain true to your core values. And which is important. I mean, core values is kind of what sets you apart. Like this is, when you have your core values right on your website, you know exactly what you stand for.
Exactly. And it's about your integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is your word. Really, that's all really integrity is.
It's true. If you say
and,
something,
I used to get a lot of repeat business because people knew I would say I do it, and I did it.
Right. So, Lisa, with this day and age, right, everything's about social media, and I've seen people that do it well, and I've seen people that they just waste time, and it's, it doesn't work, or there's no real strategy behind it. I know social media is very important, but, including myself, I don't remember the last time I got a deal from social media. But is it a big part of today's realtor environment?
It is. It's getting bigger and bigger, unfortunately.
I know. I wish it wasn't.
With the newer generations,
Right.
You could be sitting across from somebody and they're texting each other instead of talking to each other. I would like to make a little difference in that to say, hey, you know what? What is, let's have a conversation. It's amazing for all the communication we have today. Cell phones. I mean, when I was a kid, we didn't have a cell phone, and I believe we talked more. We really talked more. Now, with all the communication we have, people don't talk as much. They use the social media, and social media is great. I mean, it really is. That's not my strength, so I usually hire somebody to do what I need to do with social media, and I'm limited on that as well. I don't list or sell anymore. If you're going to list or sell, it's really good. Like if you get a Facebook page, make sure you get a Facebook business page and guide them to the business page. Because, when you look at social media, the more people look at it for who you are. It's not necessarily what you're listing or selling. That kind of gets boring. They want to know about you. Where are you in your world? What's going on in your life and stuff like that. And that's what, to me, is social media is more for. I mean, I've connected with some people that I haven't talked to in years on social media, and I was like, oh, this happened, and then you call them, hey, congratulations, good job, you just changed your job, or you did this, or whatever, or that. That's social media to me. Although, yes, social media is coming in big, really, really big. A lot of buyers and sellers are looking on social media now, more so because there's so many more websites. That's why as a realtor, you want to stay on top of your game.
But
if you know more than they know.
But if you're selling real estate, or you're, doing financing, or whatever your profession is that you provide a service, it's still relationship marketing, right? So it's all about that relationship. And
correct.
You
and
may
knowing
be able to,
your market.
Yeah, and knowing the market.
Really important to know your market. I mean, you see everything on social media. You really have to go and view these homes. You got to know your market because you're looking at photos on social media.
Right.
Until you've actually been in a house and seen what it's all about, or it's important when you're sitting down doing a comparative market analysis called a CMA with somebody. They want to know, hey, did you see this house? No, I didn't. Did you see that? No, I didn't. Okay, well, how do you know the market better than I have? If you haven't seen any of them, it's really getting out there and seeing your inventory and where you're listing and selling it.
And for our listeners out there that may be looking to get into real estate, explain to them what a CMA is.
CMA is a comparative market analysis. So what you do is you sit down and you go on your MLS or whatever, and you look at different homes and same prices, square footage, things like that, and you look at a comparative, you compare them. In other words, you may see a house, one has a garage, and it could be the same thing, but one has a garage, and then you see another house, and, it's similar. You're comparing it, and it doesn't have a garage. So what is the value of the garage? And knowing the condition of the house is very important as well. When you see a price of one house, why is it priced at this price? Why is it priced at that price? And it's just comparing it and getting a bunch of houses. The tough thing is now there's really not a lot of inventory right now, active inventory, because things are selling so quickly, which can be a plus because at least, when you do a comparative market analysis, it's what the house really sold for. Because you can list a house at anything. You really want to compare it to what the house is selling for and what they go under agreement for. So that's how you start out. So when you sit down with the buyer or seller, say you have a buyer that's looking for a house, I don't want to overpay. 'Cause who does, right? So you just show like houses, like properties. Okay, well, this is what this went for. This is what that went for. And like I said, when you go in and you actually saw the house, that shows so much more value because after it's sold, you want to make sure if you can get in to see it, you can compare it and say, yeah, this is really very similar. So this is kind of where the price range is, for these homes.
Right, and many times when these sellers are interviewing you to see if they want to list the property with you, they're probably meeting 2 or 3 other realtors as well.
Yes, and I think that's a good thing for listeners out there, for sellers. You want to talk to more than one person, really, and it's not necessarily about the commission. It's more about what the service is provided, and and the trust. You want to build a trust with somebody.
Like perfect example, I talked to a lot of realtors, and a realtor had a listing appointment, and he was at say 5%, the other person was at 4%. But he was very, because he knew who he was up against, and he ended up pulling the data and said, well, this guy sold 2 houses last year. I sold 28. That's the value you're going to get. And you end up selling it for over asking, and it was a successful sale, and I think that, as you get more and more behind you and kind of what to look at, there's always, you're always going to get your objections. It's just kind of how you have them right.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to know what the objections. I was told there's only can be like 6 or 7 objections or something like that. Not even that many, I don't think. So as long as you have your objections ready, I mean, you're good to go.
Exactly. It's having powerful answers to powerful questions.
And would you
and
say
that's how you show your value out there.
And you must know a lot of real estate agents. Are they kind of segmented, just working on listings or working on buyers, or do they have an equal? Do they say I need this many buyers and this many listings, or are they all kind of gravitate into the listing world?
Well, listings are the name of the game, as we say in the real estate market, and it's true. You could have buyers, though. What I'm seeing more now is people creating teams. So when you start out, you do your listings, you do your buyers, because you really need to be experienced in both. And then you create a team. So in time, you may get a buyer's agent on a team to, one person really wants to go after the listing. So then you'll have a buyer's agent taking care of the buyers, doing the open houses and things like that. I think that may be, maybe the way of the future.
Agreed.
Is creating more team, because, my motto, teamwork makes the dream work. And I really do believe that. You want to get experienced in both. And there are some really high-level agents, and they still do both, and they're on their own. They do it themselves. They'll have an admin, because I really believe you're going to need an admin, because you're out there making calls and going on appointments. You want to have somebody good that can do the paperwork for you to follow it, to keep moving forward. So that would be your first step in growing. You'd want to get an admin first, and then you can eventually grow into getting a buyer's agent down the line.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy. So, we've been seeing it in the mortgage business too. People having two people on their team, and it frees them up to go out and do all those coffee appointments and doing all the things they need to do to build their business, which is great.
Exactly. So the admin's important. What a lot of agents make a mistake. They get a buyer's agent first. You don't want to do that. Get the admin. Get the one that takes care of the paperwork and really finishes it off for you, and then you can grow into a buyer's agent.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, Lisa, it was great talking to you, and it was great meeting you.
Hey, you as well.
And Ed, do you have any questions? Ed he's always kind of chirps in once in a while when he has a question. He's usually got a good one.
Well, I think from listening to this, a lot of what Lisa says applies to pretty much any job. I think, though, Lisa brings the specifics to real estate, right? So, I mean, I think all the advice she gives on coaching is stuff that can be used by people.
Yeah, and I would say more on the lines of a sales job, right? So anything that is sales oriented, I would think. Because this could fall
accountability.
Right, accountability. I mean, this could be mortgage salespeople as well as real estate salespeople, insurance, because you're always looking, you being held accountable and doing the successful items that you need to do to become successful. I think it's great.
Yeah, I enjoyed listening.
So, Lisa, in closing, do you have anything else to add? I know that, we definitely want to promote your class on August 22nd. Send us some materials. We'll post it on our website. We'll send it out we'll do a blast email. Do you have anything else to add?
Get a coach. We all need the accountability for whatever goals you want to meet, and I'm happy to work. I don't only work with real estate agents. I work with anybody that really needs to, change their life. My NLP now is helping to do life, coaching in that way as well, which is great. So
yeah,
get a coach.
I definitely second that. All right, Ed.
Yeah,
I just want to say thank you for everyone for listening in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at easymoney@newfed.com. And if you know anything that is easy to make money, send it our way, because like we like to say, there's no such thing as easy money. Thanks again, Lisa.
It's a new day, it's a new way. Call 877-NEW-FED-1. It's a new way.
Hi folks, it's Brian Damico, owner of NewFed Mortgage. People always ask me, what's the difference between pre-approved and pre-qualified? Well, pre-approval is a more rigorous process than a pre-qualification. It's a written commitment from a lender to extend a mortgage to you for a specific amount and time period. With a pre-approval, you'll be able to set your budget, negotiate confidently, and close faster. Typically, sellers will only accept offers from those who are pre-approved. That's why you need to call NewFed and ask about our pre-approval purchase program so that you get a real pre-approval and get on the fast track to purchasing the home of your dreams. Don't waste time dealing with big banks. Get pre-approved at NewFed today. We're local and we're here to help.
877-NEW-FED-1.
Subject to credit approval, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1881. Policy website for details.
877-NEW-FED-1. It's a new day, it's a new way. Call 877-NEW-FED-1. It's a new way.
Hi folks, it's Brian Damico, owner of NewFed Mortgage. I've met so many people who want to make money in real estate but just don't know how. They pay for expensive real estate courses and seminars and they just left more confused. This is why I wrote the book, Real Estate Riches. Take the first step and buy your first home. Whether you want to buy your first home or an investment property, I share some of the best secrets to real estate success in my new book. Just visit briandamico.com/free book to receive your coupon from Amazon. When you finish reading, give me a call so we can set up your financial future together. That's briandamico.com, briandamico.com/free book. Sign up and receive your free book from Amazon. Subject to credit approval, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1881. Policy website for details.
877-NEW-FED-1.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.